Those of you who know me might not know that I'm also a huge New York Mets fan. So, been a baseball fan since I was a kid. I was born in 1983, which means that when the Mets won the World Series in 1986, I was alive. I was 3 years old. So I can't technically say they've never won a championship in my lifetime because they won the World Series in '86. But I was three, so I don't remember it. So it's like the worst of all worlds, right? I can't remember them ever winning a World Series, but they did win one in my lifetime. So it's frustrating. I missed those years when they were great from, 83, 84. They started to get really good with Doc Gooden all the way up to like 89, 90. They were a good team. Maybe that's why I liked them because they were playing well. Also, they were orange and blue. I grew up in New Jersey, and the Yankees were like boring black and white. They'll tell you it's navy blue and white, but looks like black and white to me. And the Mets were blue and orange and like royal blue, and it was fun colors. So maybe that's why I like them. I don't know. Anyway, my dad grew up a Brooklyn Dodgers fan. Who also was, the enemies, the arch rivals of the Yankees. So it's just Yankees fandom was never in the cards for me, which is great because who likes rooting for Microsoft when you could root for the little guy? So I root for the Mets, and since I started watching them, and I guess they were good when I was a really little kid, but when I was about 8 years old, 1991, there was a huge downturn, and they started being pretty sorry for quite a long time in my childhood. Um, and they, got good again around the Y2K era. And then had a couple of good years here and there. 2006 was particularly good. And before they had some really disappointing late season finishes in 2007, 2008, blowing a couple of big leads late in the season. And then again, they were pretty bad for a number of years until they got to the World Series in 2015 with Murphtober, when Daniel Murphy went crazy and turned into Babe Ruth for a couple of weeks. And then, Mets cycled down again. And now the thing that I think is amazing is that Steve Cohen, this billionaire hedge fund manager, whatever, I'll reserve my opinion of him as a person, but bought the team. And this is great because I think Mets fans for a long time were really suffering under the ownership of the Wilpons and formerly also the Doubledays. And there was a campaign going on for a while that's there was even a website called like Mark Cuban Please Buy the Mets.com or something like that. I don't know if that's the real website, but people really wanted an invested owner spending a lot of money to try to make the team good. I mean, that's what any fan wants of their team. I mean, look at Welcome to Wrexham with Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney buying the team. They want an owner who cares, who's willing to invest money in the team because it's good for the community and presumably good for business. You spend money to make money. And a lot of owners, a lot of these billionaire owners just sort of treat the team like an investment. Oh, okay, I'm going to try to make money. I'll buy the team. I'll try to make a little bit of profit every year, and then the valuation will go up, and at some point down the line, I'll sell it and make tons of money, and that's really what I care about. Is the team on the field any good? Who cares? And I feel like that's really what a lot of owners think. I think that's what the Mets owners thought for a long time. And now the new Mets under Steve Cohen, man, they're spending money. They're investing in analytics. They're making signings that actually make sense. Previously, sometimes they'd sign players, and you'd be like, why are they signing that guy? That guy's not any good. And then he wouldn't be good. And then it's like, why do we spend money on Jeremy Burnitz? Excuse me, Jeremy. I know you were a good player at one point, but at the point in your career when you came to the Mets, it just was not a smart signing. Things like that, trading for Robinson Cano when he's already 38, or trading for, Roberto Alomar, which, no one could have predicted that downturn in his career. But, we're trading for guys past their prime, expecting to get maybe one or two good years out of them before they get to be older. And that's just not a smart business decision. It's not a smart baseball decision. And so that's the kind of thing that the Mets did for decades, and just constantly signing these guys who were over the hill, who weren't a good fit for the team and spending way too much money to do it. And it's just, take a look at a team like the Rockies, who has no idea what they're doing and isn't even trying to make the playoffs. And that's kind of the situation that the Mets were in for most of my life. But with Steve Cohen buying the team now, man, they're on the up and up. Team's looking good. They're investing in the future. They're not trading away all their prospects. Excuse me, Jared Kelenic, Scott Kazmir, for older players. And they're really trying to build a pipeline of talent that'll sustain the team for years to come. So it's super exciting. And it's a great time to be a Mets fan because not only is the team looking like it is on the verge of competition, but it looks like there's a system set up for sustained success over the years. Now, whether that will actually play out in real performance, who knows? I mean, that's why you play the games, right? You can't win a championship on paper. But when you put the right structures in place and you invest in the foundations of your business, whether it's baseball or voice acting or whatever it is, a restaurant, you set yourself up for a much greater chance of success because your foundations are strong, your fundamentals are strong, and that's just business. And the Mets are doing it, and I'm really, really excited about that. I'm excited to be a Mets fan. I always was excited to be a Mets fan, but it's exciting when the vision of the ownership of the team and the decision makers of the team line up with the expectations of the fans or the consumers of that product. It just makes for a really good partnership, and I think it's wonderful. So I'm excited for where the team is going in the next 10 to 20 years, and hopefully when I get to be an old guy, maybe they'll finally win a World Series that I can remember, and hopefully the foundation is being set right now. Woohoo! Go Mets!